Hey, what's up guys, welcome to Pimp, my Longshot. Yep, that's right, it's a Pimp, my Longshot video, and as you can tell, it's my Red Longshot, and I'm gonna go and mod this thing. Yes, I am going to mod my Red Longshot, and there's nothing that you can do about it, hater. But I already have haters, so that's fine with me. I don't give a shit. Anyway, because I bought this Longshot, it's a second-hand one, and it's already worn out a little bit. So I was thinking, you know, I'm gonna do some mods because I want to introduce you guys to some crazy stuff that I've gotten over from WRX Looney, and I thought I would do a video, and nothing else would be more epic than pimping up a Red Longshot, which is pretty rare to find nowadays. So yeah, these are the things that I want to pimp it up with. The Xplorer shotgun grip, as you can see, I've already done up a crazy decal of carbon fiber. And from the same guys that brought you the Xplorer shotgun grip is the Xplorer bolt sled replacement for your Longshot. Yep, just take a look at it now. It's made out of the same polyurethane plastic, which is pretty strong, as you can tell. It's got the same washers over here, and everything's engineered just nicely, perfectly to fit into your Longshot. I will demonstrate it later when I do up this Red Longshot over here. And this is a stock Longshot bolt sled. As you can see, there are holes over here, so that's a slight difference, but that is not the main point. As you can tell, the stress point usually is about this area for a bolt sled, and as you can see on the Xplorer bolt sled, they've already widened this area over here, so it's a lot more sturdy, and there's a lot more contact points, so it wouldn't break so easily. Therefore it should be able to withstand a lot more weight on the bolt sled. At the same time, the thickness of it, you can tell, this is the stock. The stock is pretty thin. It's almost twice the thickness over here on the Xplorer bolt sled. When you take a closer look on the stock bolt sled, you can actually see that it's just 3 pieces of plastic for the structural support. On the inside, it's just almost flush. Still has a little bit of ridges, but on the Xplorer grip, on the Xplorer bolt sled, they actually have the same 3 on the inside. However, on the outside, it's totally flush. It's a solid piece with a cool Xplorer logo over here, and this will just drop into your Longshot, and I will be demonstrating that in a while. But before I proceed on, I shall give you guys a quick stock review of this blaster, since some of you have been asking for it. Yep, this thing, when I got it off eBay, completely stock. It came in a full set, so that means that, yes, I have the scope. Some of you have already seen in a teaser video in my background. So, yep. And the front gun, which is over here. How does performance differ from this and any other Longshot? It does not differ at all. It's exactly the same. It gives you crappy ranges because it's not modded. Yep. Let me just show it to you guys, okay? I'm gonna take the camera and I'm gonna put it out in the hallway, and I'm gonna fire off my blaster, and I'm showing it to you how crappy the ranges are. Alright, here you go. This is a firing demo of the Red Longshot in a stock form, and I'll be firing it down my hallway. And as you'll be able to tell in this video, that the performance of the Red Longshot in stock form is just crappy. So we're going to demonstrate to you the front gun first. Get your streamline dart, put it down the barrel, and as you can tell, it will bounce up and down simply because that is the air restrictor spring kicking in. So what you do, prime the blaster, take aim, and squeeze the trigger, and you'll realize that the dart doesn't even come out. What good is a blaster if your dart can't even leave your barrel? Let's try it again. Second time. Still not working. Maybe third time's the charm. Let's give it a shot. That's how far it flew. Crap. Throw that aside. Now let's get on to the main gun. I have with me a 6-dart clip. Yes, it's a clear clip, but just want to show you that there's 6 darts inside. So what you do, prime the blaster, get your clip, put it inside, forward, let's get ready to fire. All 6 darts out into the hallway. First dart, second, third dart. That was a crappy shot. Fourth dart, last dart out. No more darts in the clip. And yes, because it's in stock form, I can dry fire it. So let's go take a look at the ranges of the streamlines. So there's the 4th shot right there. So what, 5 foot, 3 feet, I don't know. So there's streamline, 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 streamline. They're all around this area, clustered around my dining table. Yup. So as you can tell, stock form of the Red Longshot is just crap, and that's why we're going to do some modding to it. So stay tuned, we're going to go through a live modding session with me and the Xplorer stuff. Let's go! Before we begin our modding journey, these are the tools, the items and the things that we need. First, you need a claw hammer. Then you have your pipe cutter, pair of standard scissors, some E-tape in any color, screwdrivers, Phillips head in assorted sizes, and one which is a precision one, you'll find out why later. Super glue, your lubricant, synthetic grease please, no Vaseline and crap like that. X-Acto knife, Xplorer bolt sled, random kitchen towels or tissue paper, wet wipes, a ruler, an extra O-ring, EVA foam discs or foam padding bumpers thingies that had their centers cut out with a cookie cutter or a piece of brass, and I have two over here and one thin one, and you'll find out what these are for later. This is a PEX tubing, or basically you just can use any kind of a tubing or PVC pipe or whatever sort of a, you know, spare material that you have, and you gotta cut it down into 3-inch long pieces. Let me just prove it to you. It's 3-inch. Check it out. There we go. 1, 2, 3. Unless you can't read. 1, 2, 3. Yep. 3 inches. And you want 4, but I've already pre-cut 3, and I'll be doing 1 later. And what these are for, you'll also find out why. And we also have some springs. This spring over here, I believe, is a stock Lennard triple shot spring. Actually, not Lennard. Airzone triple shot spring over here. And I'll be using that for a spring addition to a crazy powered long shot spring that I cannot compress with my bare hands. You know, you guys in different countries, you have different spring standards, like your K26. For those of you guys in Australia, you guys probably get your long shot springs from Black Tactical, and this is, I think, a bit tougher than the V2 cutting board, small one. I mean, it's not really necessary, but I'm just doing this for the sake of safety for my videos. And some newspaper. So let's begin the live modding process. First of all, you will need your long shot, and before you open up your blaster, the most commonly asked question is, how am I going to remove my priming bar? I can't seem to pull it out. So that is where your claw hammer comes in. Almost every forum that deals with nerf modding always says the same thing. To remove your long shot priming bar, please use a claw hammer. Stick it on the inside, yank it out. But psych! It's gonna scratch my blaster shell. Of course it is. That's why you have the newspaper. Just slide it underneath like so, in order to protect your precious long shot shell. Get your claw hammer, slide it underneath, and 1, 2, 3, yank it out. So out it comes, and then ease it out with some strength, and it'll come right out like that. Goodbye priming bar, and now you're left with a nice long shot shell that is priming barless. Grab your screwdriver. The first thing that you need to remove is this, the buttstock. So yep, there's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, total of 6 screws on this thing. So let's go. So when you have all 6 screws out, just lift up this half over here, set this aside, take out the lower half. Now take out all my screws and put them inside here. My phone just rang. Oh, it's Atani. Never mind, just put it aside, but I like this habit of having all the screws out like so. Oops, the screws dropped out. You guys gotta be careful though, try and keep the screws somewhere in the same place. I'm gonna use the buttstock over here to keep my screws in any order. Just start removing the screws. These 2 screws though, these are the longest screws in the whole blaster, and my screwdriver is slightly magnetized, so the screws will probably stick to my screwdriver once I get them loose enough and I get them out. See, I hate screws and I don't have no electric screwdriver. Alright, so this is the area that is particularly hard to unscrew. First of all, locate this screw hole over here, and this one over here right next to the bipod legs. So we're gonna unscrew that too first. Those two, I mean. Pardon my English, is very bad. So anyway, just to let you guys know, the front 2 screws are the longest, and all the rest on this whole area of the blaster are all the same size, at the average size. And yep, I got one out, and I'm going for the one at the front. Alright, here's the tip. If you're finding it a bit hard to unscrew, just twist the leg out just a bit, like so. It'll be much easier to unscrew. When you unfold the bipod leg, you'll find another 1, 2, 3 screws, so get at those, let's attack these damn screws. So these two are the shorter ones in the whole blaster. Alright, so now that all the screws are out, you're gonna want to separate the two halves. But before you actually do that, you have to take note of two things. Two areas actually. First area is this part over here, the orange piece for the N-Strike rail system up here. There's a spring underneath it, and it sucks whenever you open up and this orange piece flies out, or the spring flies out and you lose it. So take note of that. And also for the long shot, the catch area is actually over in this area over here, near the back of the blaster. So make sure that the spring doesn't fly out, or try to open it slowly. And yeah, so what I like to do is I like to put my finger on the orange piece on top as I split the blaster into half, and that makes me you know, that lets me feel where that orange piece is, if it's gonna stay or if it's gonna fly. So now I halved it. I'm gonna take this half and I'm gonna set it aside first. I'm gonna take out this piece. This is the N-Strike clip attachment thingy, so put it down over here, and this is the catch. So it's a good thing the catch didn't fly out. Alright, I'm going to do this really quick. This is the internals of a long shot. All long shots will look the same internally, just of course aside from the difference in color. But I'll be starting from the back. This piece over here, this is the catch. This bar over here is the bar for the priming indicator. This is the plunger assembly, the whole plunger tube, and the plunger rod is this piece over here. This piece over here, this is the bolt lock. This is the trigger, this whole orange piece. This is the trigger lock. This is the bolt sled. This is the clip lock. This is the clip release mechanism over here. This is the dart tooth. This is the one that blocks the passageway and forces your dart to chamber nicely. This of course is the chambering system. This is the chamber assembly, or the breech we call it, brass breech and stuff like that, but this is a stock breech. This is the jam door. This is a I don't know what piece this is. This is the linking piece thingy. This is the barrel itself, and of course this is the muzzle where your fun gun goes. So yeah, this is what the long shot internals look like, or they should look like. What I want to do is very simple. I want to do a spring upgrade on the plunger rod. I want to add an O-ring to the plunger head. I want to switch the bolt sled from the red one into the Xplorer one, and the mods that I've mentioned so far are all reversible. And I also forgot something at the start, that we want to upgrade the catch spring. So what am I going to use to upgrade the catch spring? Simple. Spring like this. Where do I get this from? Almost any pen that goes click 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 click, unscrew it and take that spring out. This is the spring that we will use to double spring with the catch spring, the stock catch spring. So yep, how are we gonna start removing the plunger system? Simple. First you need to get rid of this screw over here, the one that holds the bolt lock, and also you'll be needing this to remove this one over here. That's a trigger lock. Sorry, the screw that holds the trigger down. So let's go remove this one first. Alright, so don't misplace the screw. Put it aside. Then we're gonna go for this screw over here, and we will put this one aside like so. They're identical. And the last one, of course, I forgot to mention, is the screw on the dart tooth. So all three of the screws are almost identical, so no worries about mixing them up. So now we're gonna start removing it bit by bit. First I'm gonna remove the jam door. It slides right off. Alright, put the jam door aside. You take out the trigger like that, slide it out the back, and you take the, oops, see that spring? See, that's what I mean by exploding internals. Yep, this is the trigger lock. Okay, so now with those two gone, I'm going to get this one up. So just lift it up from the back. Over here, take note of the bolt lock. Comes right off. Bolt lock first. And then this guy over here, the dart tooth has to come out. And we're going to lift this whole thing right off. And slide it back. And it comes off like so. We're going to focus on this area. Before we carry on, this thing is really dusty. So I'm just going to quickly wipe it down and get rid of all the dirt and gunk and shit and whatever else you can find on it. All the excess grease and stuff like that. See? So dirty. Well, it's okay. It's a nice long shot anyway. It's all a part of nerfing. It's called upkeep. I'm gonna take my precision screwdriver. What you do is you look at the little pin over here. So this is where the slot that goes in. You're gonna aim it and you're gonna gently try to push it out, and be careful, don't let the pin fly here and there. So yep, the pin is out like so. Remove that thing. Don't lose this. This is really important. The Xplorer bolt sled does not come with this pin, so set it aside somewhere that you know you won't lose. And then what we're gonna do is push this down, or apart I would say, and take out the whole the whole plunger system out from the bolt sled. So yep, like that. This is going into my parts bin. I'm gonna keep this in case I need a spare, or in case I ever wish to revert the whole blaster back into stock form. When we perform the air restrictor removals, basically that is a irreversible mod. However, you can just replace this thing with another Longshot, but let's not talk about that now. Get your pipe cutter. I'm gonna set the pipe cutter to be exactly at the ridge in between the black and the orange area. Once you got it down, just tighten it a bit and go a few rounds, and eventually the glue will crack. You can hear it cracking already. There, it's split. So now what I'm going to do is pull it apart. See? This over here, I want to get rid of this piece, and you can tell the dart peg is inside there. So I'm going to try and pull this piece out over here, like so. Okay, I'm back with a pair of needle nose pliers going inside. See that over there? I'm going to grip it, and I'm going to pull it really hard and yank it out. Let's see if I can get this out. I don't need this. Yep, so I got it out in one twist, and now we're gonna work on this area over here. Grab a screwdriver, you're gonna remove these two. We call this, in Singapore, we call this the Mickey Mouse piece. I'm going to remove the screws on the Mickey Mouse piece. So both screws out. Now the Mickey Mouse piece is loose. I'm gonna remove the whole plunger assembly. This is the plunger head. And on the plunger tube, what we're gonna do is we're gonna push this part in, get this whole thing out. And if you notice that there's a little O-ring over here, make sure you get that all nice and clean, because this provides the seal between the lip of the plunger, the air output release, and your moving bolt itself. So yeah, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut away at these three prongs over here, 1, 2, 3, with my wire cutters. Next one, and the last one. So there we go. Now as you notice, I pulled this thing out. Here's the piece, and a small little very thin spring, as you can see, and this whole thing just comes out like so. Now you have a very nice and clear passageway over here. Earlier on I showed you this thing. This is the EVA foam, and with a little bit of a PVC thingy over here. What we do is we use this to block up the dead space over here, because your plunger head can never get in there, see? So what happens is you always have this small amount of dead space. I know it's very minimal, but it's something for you to take note of. Some people, I know that some modders actually fill this whole area with hot glue. The reason why we have this thing over here is so that it can lead into this tube over here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stuff all this in. We will need to break out our E-tape and block up the air leak hole that is found right here. Grab your E-tape. You can of course goop the thing, or you can apply hot glue, it's up to you, but I think E-tape will suffice. Just one round, one wrap, that's enough. So I'm going to start from here. It's over the air release hole, the air leak hole. So it's almost one round, which is more than enough. Cut off the excess E-tape. There we go. That should suffice. We're going to go ahead with the plunger rod itself. So what I suggest to do is for you to rest this on the edge of the table, hold it downwards with a downward pressure onto the plunger head itself, and we're going to remove this screw right here. Screw is a little bit tough, but with some strength you'll be able to unscrew it, and then take your time with it. Once the screw comes loose, remove the plunger head like so, set it aside. Your spring, take it out. If you would like to, you can actually reinforce all of these grooves with hot glue, or with epoxy putty, or aluminum strips, or whatever you want to, but I'm not going to do it because I'm lazy like that, but you should. Don't be like me. I'm going to remove the stock O-ring on this thing like so. As you can tell, it's a flimsy piece of shit, and I'm going to clean out the insides, make sure that this thing is totally lubricant and grease free. Get my cutting board and my E-tape. I'm going to pull out a long strip of E-tape like that. That should be enough. Grab your X-Acto knife and we are going to slice the E-tape into strips that will fit into this area over here. So if you measure it, it's about 1/4 inch, and then we're going to start slicing it up. Alright, so after cutting I have 2 strips like this. Basically I'm gonna just wrap this E-tape within this groove of the plunger head like so. Yep, that's a pretty good fit. I'm going to hold it down and stretch it a little bit so it goes all the way in, as you can tell. I'm trying not to get any E-tape on the outside in case it rubs against the plunger tube on the inside. Then it might dislodge the entire E-tape and screw up your whole plunger system. But I'm just going to do this a couple of rounds. Try and get that 100 seal out of the O-ring. So that's, yep, 1 strip. I'm going to go for the next one. So now once that's done, take the original O-ring and wrap it around the plunger head. It should fit a lot better now, not so loose. And remember the other O-ring we had just now, earlier on, that I mentioned? Yep, we're gonna put that here, so we're gonna basically double O-ring the whole thing. So now with 2 O-rings, we're gonna try and test the fit. Alright, so it turns out that 2 layers of E-tape is a little bit too much. As you can tell, I can't even squeeze it in right now. It's too tight, and eventually this will not work out for you. I mean, it will not work out for me, because although it seems really tight now, even after I put my lube on, I'm pretty sure that it will affect the speed of the delivery. So I'm going to remove some E-tape. So from here to about here, that's about a half round. Snip it off and let's try it again. You can see now it goes in a bit better now, like that. So I'm going to keep this one over here. I'm going to keep this set up. We're going to move on to the plunger rod. I'm going to take the stop spring and set it aside. Okay, before we put the springs on, I just want you to take note that over here you can actually see a little, I think this is a hexagonal shape with a few prongs on the side, so you have to make sure that it lines up. There's only a few ways that it will line up, and this is not one of the ways. Make sure that it lines up all the way till it's the end flush when you do so. So you have to take note of this right before you guys go ahead and do replace your plunger head. Take the Air Zone triple shot spring, set it in there. It's a just nice fit. Take the super beefy long shot spring that I have over here. I'm gonna use a double spring combination. Line the plunger head up properly. That's not right. Okay, that's right. And in order not to let it move out and slip out like so, I'm going to make sure I hold it down in place. So I'm going to screw it on. I'm going to screw the plunger head on the same way I took it off. Apply pressure down this way. Take the screw. I'm going to ease it in my finger first, in my fingers, in my hand, and then I'm going to use a screwdriver. So now it should look something like this. Wow, that's like tough, man. Alright, so now that you have this done, and you have this done, with your dead space removed, get this part back over here, get some lube, put it on your pinky, spread it on the inside of your plunger tube, and with the excess, what you do is you're gonna get some on the O-ring over here. As you can see that there's the O-ring that we cleaned up earlier. This whole thing goes in like so, like that, and it should come out the front like that. Then we're gonna get this, it's your plunger head. Of course we're gonna lube it up. You can afford to be a bit more generous, and that's what I'm gonna do. So now before you actually put the whole plunger assembly back into the plunger tube, you're gonna have to worry about padding. Now you always worry about plunger padding whenever you remove your air restrictors. Now removing your air restrictor basically means that there is no mechanism to cushion the impact of the blaster. So this whole thing is just made of plastic. It's going to slam to the front of your entire plunger system, and you don't really want that because you know, over time it's going to have some crazy wear on your blaster. So what we're going to do is we're going to get this thing called a bump on sticker by 3M. It's a small little piece of rubber. As you can tell that I've been using it religiously. So just grab a little bit of it, one piece actually, and stick it to the front like so. It's like a bumper sticker. Now it shouldn't come off, but if you're worried, you can always use some hot glue and you can hot glue it in place, but I'm not going to do so. This should suffice for me. I'm going to put this whole thing inside here, like that. Here everything is roughly in place. What we're going to do is we're going to replace these two screws first, so they make sure this thing doesn't slip out. Okay, so when we're done, it should be like that. We want to glue the bolt back into place. Bust out your super glue because it's super. and we're gonna apply it around this whole lip area. You could also use goop. Grab this end and you're gonna try and center it nicely and put it on. And we're gonna let that rest for a little while. Get my E-tape and I'm gonna wrap it around, starting from about here. Right, so now that it's almost one full round, I'm gonna get my pair of scissors and cut the excess off, like so, and finish it. So basically, yep, that should do the trick. On to the very interesting part. We don't have to reattach the lock or anything, trigger lock. So what we're going to do is just line up the nub over here with this slot and make sure it goes in and sits in nicely like so. Yep, and the whole plunger tube should sit like that. Earlier on we actually removed this pin, told you not to lose it. Now we gotta slot it back in the same way we took it out from the original bolt sled, like so. So now it's flush on this side and here. Shouldn't be too difficult. Yeah, that's what the new bolt sled assembly looks like. And once this is done, we're gonna start putting our blaster back into place. Since I'm gonna use the Xplorer shotgun grip, I'm gonna have to remove the bipod. I will have to remove this silver screw over here. It's a pretty long screw. I've done this many times, but it's a pretty long screw. So this screw comes out to the side and gently take out your bipod leg from here. Yep. So I finally got it out. Just a little bit of yanking. Okay, so first of all, the bolt lock has to go in into this slot over here like that. Here comes the whole plunger assembly with the bolt sled. First thing, you gotta slide this part over here onto the front and make sure it sits nicely, like so. Bolt lock must sit into the back tail of your bolt sled assembly, and it should sit into this slot over here, like so. You gotta make sure that you don't drop that spring though, because the spring comes off really easily. So now once that's in place, everything else goes down. Like so. Now you have to make sure that your plunger tube is sitting nicely and it's aligned on a little notch over here. You gotta take note of that. You have to screw your dart tooth down into place. If not, it'll just keep popping up, and that's not what you want. Alright, that's done. Dart tooth in place. Make sure that you keep the bolt lock in place. Okay, so basically how do you check if your bolt lock will be working? Is very simple. Now that the priming bar is in the forward position, you have to make sure that this notch over here, this tapered area, is actually pushing the bolt lock down. Because if it's not pushing it down, then you probably won't be able to prime your blaster. Now if this clearance area over here is too thick, too wide, it means that this bolt lock will be up there. The only way to solve it is to remove your padding, because the thickness over here depends on how much padding you have on the front. More space means you have a thicker padding, so it will start to remove the padding from the front. I don't know if it makes sense to you, but only if you understand the system, then you will understand what I'm trying to say. So yeah, this should be able to work. So the last thing you gotta get back into place is the trigger. And how the trigger sits in, this slot over here goes into this screw pot, and this spring goes into here, like so. Just like that. Grab your screw and replace the screw back into its respective screw port. Right, so this is the catch piece, and this is the stock catch spring, and we're gonna upgrade the catch spring to be able to support the heavier load on the plunger tube. But if you don't have the luck to find a spring from a pen, what you can do is remember the mag lock, the clip lock earlier on with the spring over here. You can actually salvage the clip lock spring, which is this piece, and it sleeves over with a bit of twisting, and it should give you a bit more strength. This is the priming indicator bar. I'm going to shift this up here like so, and make sure that it's straight, and I'm going to sit everything down nicely. Alright, so I managed to finally get the catch piece in place. This blaster now sports the beautiful Xplorer bolt sled. and I'm going to set this part aside first because I want to remove the bipod on the other half of the blaster. Same thing, remove the silver screw over here. So the other bipod leg is out. So now I want to get the jam door back into place. You have to make sure that this notch is sitting in front of your bolt sled, and in order to do so you might have to lift up this area of your bolt sled or plunger assembly, and that's a bit tricky, so I'm gonna try. Yep, like so, lifted it up just enough so that I can stick that on the inside, and you have to make sure that the alignment is all fine now. Everything was good. And the next thing is this little piece over here, the end strike rail attachment thingy, and you gotta make sure that you don't lose that spring. Slip it on the same place. Now get your other half of the blaster shell and make sure it lines up from the back, especially the catch. You gotta make sure that the catch doesn't slip out. That's the important part. Yep, so as you can see, I took it really slow and I eased it back on, and now it's fine. It closed up nicely. I'm gonna get the long screws and I'm gonna put all the screws back in place. Remember that the short screws go over here and the long screws go over here. All the other screws are about the same. Alright, here I am with the Red Longshot fully assembled. Not exactly fully, but I have left with me the stock. You know, you're supposed to attach your stock back into place. However, there is one more mod that you guys might want to consider doing. For me, personally, it's too close for me to lean on my shoulder. Everybody's a bit different, so I want it to be in open mode instead of collapse mode. But however, due to the stronger spring load found in the plunger tube system right now, if I have my shoulder leaning against the stock, it might give way and collapse because there's only one spring holding it into place. So what we do is basically perform a mod where we hot glue these spare tubings into the back so that they're no longer compressible or they're no longer collapsible. It is reversible, of course, but you have to remove your hot glue. Here's a tip though: the shade of the Red Longshot's buttstock is the exact same shade as the one you can find on the yellow Longshot. So yeah, something for you to consider. So anyway, basically, in order to do this mod, what you need is about 3 inches worth of whatever kind of tubing you're using. So for me, I'm going to use my PEX tube because I seldom use it and I have a lot more in store. So yep, I'm just going to use my pipe cutter over here. Hot glue time. I'm going to apply some hot glue onto the PEX tube on this side, like so. I'm going to sit it into this area over here. This is 3 inches wide. That's why I asked you guys to cut out 3 inches wide. Then the next piece should sit somewhere up here. There we go. That's on one half of the blaster. Then we will flip the blaster around and do so for the other side. So remember, once you're done with the hot glue, remember to always switch it off. So if you do it right, your stock should look like this on the inside. Right now the stock is on. I'm gonna go for the final touch, which is my Xplorer shotgun grip, and I've already done up the arms in a carbon fiber decal. I love it. Yep, somehow carbon fiber just gets to me. So with the Xplorer grip comes with a few stuff, 3 screws and a couple of washers, but I'm gonna go a little bit overboard and I will be adding my own self-made felt washers. So these prevent scratching on your blaster, and I mean the blaster shell. And I've also had found myself a bolt with a nicely kept nut on the end. You take one half of the shotgun grip and you put the bolt in like so. Then you shall go for the first regular washer and push it in all the way to the end, like that. and grab a felt washer and push it in all the way to this end, like so. Line up the bolt with the slot on the bolt sled, and yeah, everything should go in nicely all the way through, like so. So it comes out this end, and as you can see, the Xplorer grip is contoured beautifully to fit the Longshot itself, so make sure that it goes into the bipod area like so. I'm sorry it's such a mess, but what the hell, right? Like my robot tripod. Next thing you want to go on this side is the felt washer first, followed by the regular washer, and then the other half of the Xplorer shotgun grip. I'm sorry, I keep saying bolt sled. Shotgun grip, and then we're gonna put the cap on, like so. Then we're gonna flip it over, and you realize that you need to install the 3 screws, and that's what we're going to do now. When you first get your Xplorer shotgun grip, installing the screws is going to be a pretty difficult task, simply because WRX Looney, he included self-tapping screws, so he basically wanted you to use the screws to tap into the plastic itself, into the grip, and that will give you a really good solid grip, and it holds the grip halves together really well. Alright, just making sure everything's fit nicely, and yeah, so that's about it. Our Longshot is ready to go. Alright, so basically with all of that done, this is the finished Longshot. It's my finished Red Longshot, fully equipped with all the Xplorer goodies, like the Xplorer bolt sled on the inside and the Xplorer shotgun grip for the Longshot. Now you're probably wondering why I removed the trigger lock and the clip lock and not the bolt lock. Very simple. Trigger lock is meant for me to be able to deprime my blasters. For example, when you prime a blaster, you realize that, oh no, you want to take out your clip. Okay, I shall just squeeze the trigger while holding the grip back or the priming bar back and slowly ease the spring or deprime your blaster, and now I don't have to dry fire. At the same time, it also means that irregardless of whether your priming bar or grip is in the forward or back position or prime position, you can still move the clip release button and you can still yank your clip out. So that's the coolest thing. And bolt lock basically means that I'm not able to accidentally double prime my blaster, so I won't have a double feeding of darts. Now I'm gonna just quickly show you a quick firing demo against this wall, and I will take you to a firing test after this, a proper firing test after this. So yeah, prime it back, grab your clip. This clip has 6 streamline darts. Put it inside. Now deprime it, or push it back to forward position, actually, not deprime, and you realize that because of the bolt lock, I'm not able to pull the grip back anymore. This is a safety feature that I feel is pretty useful, so let's go. Yep, you can hear the sound itself. It's crazy now. The speed of the streamline is flying out like mad, and yeah, you guys will know when I do a range test in a short while. Right, so second shot, last dart. Now the thing is, I am able to pull out my clip, but I just want to show you guys what's the usefulness of having it, the depriming ability. So take out your clip like so, and now you realize that in most cases you have to dry fire it, or you have to stuff a dart on the inside. Just basically, when you can deprime a blaster, hold it back, squeeze the trigger and release it. So now on to the official range test. Hey, what's up guys? So we're here in the multi-story car park. I have WRX Looney right next to me. You wanna say hi? Hi! Yeah, so anyway, here to introduce to you a new up-and-coming project by the Xplorer group. This is a Stefan clip basically. It's nicely machined out and everything. It will fit into your blaster or any end-strike clip fed system actually, and it goes into your stock. I'm just do a demonstration. Yep, so yeah, it's engineered nicely to fit. What is that sound? Scary sound, but anyway. Yeah, so we're gonna give you a firing demonstration, the difference between using your stock clips with Nerf streamline darts as opposed to using Stefan clips. The reason why we're using Stefan clips is because we want to help out and improve on accuracy. You'll notice that firing off streamlines, you always have your darts fishtailing and stuff out of the way. I've set up another camera over there so you can actually record it from further down. The average range of this blaster is about 50 feet odd, And yeah, we'll just show you the difference between how a Stefan dart flies and how a normal streamline dart flies. Alright, so now I'm going to begin the firing demo. I'll be using a regular Nerf clip with strict 6 streamlines. I'm sorry, my tongue. So yeah, this over here is the 0 mark on the 100 feet measuring tape, and I stand at about 1.68 meters tall. I don't really know how many feet that is in American standards, I'm sorry. You guys can just go and use a calculator or something like that. So yeah, I'll be firing off every shot from my shoulder level, and it'll all be firing off parallel to the ground. So yeah, no angled shots. So here goes, streamlines first. Yeah, so you can tell the stupid streamlines all fishtailed out of nowhere. And here we go. So next part we'll be going for the Stefan clip. So Stefan clip here. I'll be loading the clips with 3 different types of Stefans. The first one I'll be using is pink foam, and you load the darts like you would a normal hand strike clip. The next one we'll be using is black foam silly tip darts, because these silicone tips are all the rage right now. Alright, and the last 2 will be my usual white foam darts. Yep, so I'll be firing all 6 shots the same way as I did for the streamlines. So just fit the clip in, like so, and let's begin the firing. So all darts out, and let's go and see how straight they are. Follow me and we shall check out the range, which is about, I estimate, about the 50s. And you can see the other camera over here. Alright, so this is the 56-foot mark. Say hi to ourselves. Hi, what's up? So yeah, streamline over here, 2 Stefans, another one, streamline. Over here, you have a Stefan. So these are the silly tip darts over there. These are all about 74 feet. Yep, and these guys actually fishtail like nothing, and they flew crazy. So yeah, stay tuned for the Stefan clip from the Xplorer group. It's coming out soon. It's working. It's fine. It's got something special on the inside, and I'm not allowed to share what it is. But it's a very interesting, project, and it's a very interesting production. So yeah, catch you guys soon. Alright, welcome back. So here's the final look at the Longshot. And as you can see from the range test, that performance of the Longshot has increased exponentially after performing your mods, like removing the air restrictor, spring changing or replacement, and all the other stuff, all the good stuff. And Longshot has a really good potential for modding. So yeah, I hope I was able to help you guys out. I hope that you guys were able to learn a thing or two. And yeah, this is Pimp, my Longshot, because I was pimping up my Red Longshot. And yep, I hope you liked the video. Peace. Alright, so this is an additional part for you guys. Looney will be firing off 6 darts, streamline darts from his Stampede at full auto, and another 6 darts from the Stefan clip. So yeah, he's about the same height as me, and he'll be firing it off from his shoulder, of course, parallel to the ground. So let's go, Looney. 6 darts for streamlines. Alright, so yeah, you can see all the darts actually flew and veered off towards the right. And inside the Stefan clip is actually 3 pink foam darts followed by 3 white foam darts, and let's go! Very nice, and they're all clustered out in the middle. Let's go take a look at the accuracy. First streamline's over here. Streamline, pink foam, pink foam, pink foam, white foam, white foam, white foam. So these are all about the 52 range, and as you can see, all the other streamlines actually flew off to the right. So accuracy counts. There's no point in you getting a very high range with your darts actually fishtailing and flying off, you know, out of your desired direction. So yeah, Stephans are generally a lot more accurate because of the weight and the way they are made. The straighter you cut your Stephans, the better it is. And you know, nowadays everybody's just using Stephans anyway. So Stephan clips are pretty good. Instead of spending time to actually try to mod your clip and basically cherish a pretty good 6 dart or 18 dart clip, you can actually get a 12 dart Stephan clip from the Xplorer group. 12 darts, right?
That's right.
12 darts. So yeah. Stay tuned for it. It's coming out soon. It's coming our way very soon, and pre-orders are going to start soon. So stay tuned. Thanks for watching. Peace.